Hey, I'm Jennifer and I'm a senior designer at Skylight. I'm going to introduce you to user research and then walk you through conducting user and stakeholder interviews. User research refers to the use of research activities like structured interviews or usability tests to understand your customers' needs and pain points. User research is a great way to make sure you're building something users find valuable and usable, which saves time and money in the long run. To select an appropriate user research method, consider where you are in your product development process. Early in the process, when little or nothing is known about a particular feature, product, or user type, you'll want to conduct generative research. Generative research asks, what do we need to fix? And helps you identify your problem statement and what users need. User and stakeholder interviews are particularly useful at this stage. We'll talk about how to conduct these interviews later. Once you have a problem statement, you can employ descriptive research, asking, so how do we fix it? This type of research helps you further understand the problem and any context that affects it. Similar to generative research, user and stakeholder interviews are valuable tools for answering these questions. You also might consider conducting a field study, meeting your participants in their natural environment to observe their context and location. Finally, once you have a proposed solution, you'll want to conduct evaluative research. This is where you ask, did we fix it? Usability testing can help assess the success of your solution. Next, I'll walk you through conducting user and stakeholder interviews. To prep for your interviews, you'll want to create a research guide, draft a script, schedule interviews, and select your tools. In your research guide, you'll want to include your objectives. What do you want to learn? What are your existing hypotheses? Your selected research method. A schedule for your research, including tentative dates for research prep, interviews, and synthesis. Recruiting criteria, including how many participants you want to speak with, any criteria they should meet, and any research incentives you have available. This is a great place to utilize proto-personas if you have them. Ensure each of your personas are represented in your participant pool. You also might want to interview stakeholders to better understand project requirements, constraints, and context. An outline of your script. Start by including high-level topics you want to ask about. We'll draft more specific questions later. Be sure to include space to add notes, analysis, synthesis, and insights after you've conducted your interviews. Don't forget to get feedback on your interview guide from your team and key stakeholders. Start your interview script off with a greeting. You'll want to introduce yourself and your job title. Thank the participant for joining and explain the goal of the session. If you plan on recording the interview, ask the participant for their permission and let them know the recording is just for internal use. Depending on your research objective, your questions will vary. You might want to ask some persona validation questions. What is your current position? Please describe your typical working day. What are some projects you've worked on or are currently working on? You also might ask about the participant's tasks and existing processes, anything that might affect the problem you're solving for. You can also use the TED-W approach to turn your research objectives into questions. Tell me about, explain, describe, walk me through. If possible, request to observe your participant while they go about their job. Your conversation may deviate from your prepared questions. For generative and descriptive research, this is expected. Let your participant share anything else that's relevant to your team's work. Last, wrap up the interview with words of gratitude. Thank the participant for their time and let them know how valuable their insights are to your team. Give them an overview of any next steps and invite them to participate in future research. Select some tools to help you conduct your interviews. If meeting participants in person, print out your script and gather note-taking materials like paper and pen. For virtual interviews, select a teleconferencing tool like Zoom and consider using a transcription tool or other note-taking software. Now that you have a research guide and a script, you're ready to schedule your interviews. Send a recruitment email, including why you're reaching out, information about how the interviews will be conducted, including duration and format, and instructions for scheduling. Offer a variety of time slots, and be sure to send a reminder the day before to avoid no-shows. When it's time to conduct your interviews, we recommend a 2-person team, one moderator and one note-taker. By allowing the moderator to focus on the conversation, they can build rapport with the participant and remain present in the conversation. Remember to avoid asking biased, leading questions. The note-taker should take detailed notes, aiming to capture direct quotes from the participant. To improve your notes, consider using shorthand and referencing the transcript after the interview to fill in any blanks. After completing all of your interviews, add your notes to your research guide. In our next videos, we'll teach you how to synthesize your research findings with your team, write actionable insights, and apply your recommendations to improve your product or service. Thanks for watching. To learn how Skylight can help your digital design transformation, visit our website at skylight.digital or send us an email.